Hello everyone, my name's Scott, and I was Dominic's best friend from the age of about 16 years old until I was about 21, when I left Portugal, where we both lived, and came to live here in Jersey in the Channel Islands, and Dominic went on ultimately to England and finally all around the world. There's not many people that are watching this that I know, Catherine and Rachel, who will know me, and but obviously what we all have in common is Dominic, and the fact that you're all there now commemorating his life just shows how much that he affected us all. In some ways I can look back and see that Dominic basically became part of my DNA as I was growing up. From the age of 16, when two pals hang out and do all the things together that two teenage boys do, the formative years, the music, the drunkenness, and the adventures that we got up to really helped shape me as a human being as I am today. And despite the fact that I hadn't seen him in the flesh for over 20 years, didn't change that one bit, because every time we did communicate with each other, it was pretty much like no time at all had passed. Growing up in the Algarve, as we did together, I first met Dominic, must have been 1985, in the Algarve International School, a school that we both attended. And we ended up both having a mutual friend, who's Catherine. And at first, I don't think I could particularly go on with Dominic, as I was, I had other friends that were more interested in sport and football. But Dominic quickly won me over with his eloquence, his wit, his intelligence, and his sense of humour. And that really was what ultimately enamoured me about him. Some of the adventures that we got together in the Algarve are absolutely hilarious. His mother used to refer to us as the 6-foot gangling twats, as she saw us one day coming back home on this tiny little moped that was so weak and feeble that at times one of us would have to get off in order for it to get up a hill. But that was our first mode of transportation, and that's all we had at the time. Eventually I had one as well, so we could have a bike each. This is the second time I've recorded this. It is very, very difficult, as many of you obviously know. It isn't until you lose someone that you realise actually how much they meant to you. The first time I saw Dominic on the television, you know, he'd stated this fact as a youngster, that he was going to be a reporter and that's what he wanted to do. And you know, he followed that doggedly and with determination and with grit and courage. And the first time I remember seeing him was 2003, at the outbreak of the second Iraq war. I myself was travelling. I was in a hotel in Kathmandu, and I turned on the television as I came into my hotel room, and there he was. I was utterly speechless. I was like, I couldn't, you know, it was quite a shift from, you know, last time I'd you know, spoken to him. We were running around in a crappy little Mini, you know, taking pictures at Miss World competitions and going to piano recitals and writing reviews on that. But I then realised that, you know, I could follow his career, and over the years I did. I was always logging onto his web page. I followed him on Fox News, and I was extremely proud of him, and realised that what I considered to be almost relative concepts and just news stories, he was there, he saw them. These were not, you know, just stories, news stories that you hear about and then get on with your life. He was there to see them and document them, and and some of the tributes I've read online to him, you know, just go to emphasise just what an incredibly courageous and fantastic person he was. His dark and wonderful sense of humour is something that we shared, and ultimately are the thing that I probably remember most about him. I have very little photographs of him. I think I have two. I was going to maybe send one of them to contribute towards the book that will ultimately be with Camillo, but they were of such bad quality that they really wouldn't have served much purpose. I do, however, have video footage and lots of audio footage, as we decided that we were going to be in a band together called Ritual, and he was wonderful at writing the lyrics but terrible at singing, and the songs nearly always turned into to sort of comedy songs, one in particular called Thermals I will never forget. So ultimately I would just say I'm very sorry I can't be there with everyone, and I'd love to, you know, I'd love to be there, but I just want to express that how much I love Dominic and how much of a part of a life and what a wonderful and positive contribution he made to my life. And I'm gutted. I'd always thought that I would eventually go out there and see him and we could hang out and get pissed together and catch up and talk about the old times, but alas, that never happened. But I still have many beautiful and wonderful memories of him, as I'm sure you all do. So Dominic, wherever you are, I hope you found the peace that you were looking for, and thank you for being a part of my life. And I know that that you won't disagree with what the t-shirt says. Dominic, I love you, mate. Rest in peace, man. Out.